This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
There's some hoes in this house.
He's Derek.
Speaking of WAP and your wet-ass pussy, I don't cook, I don't clean.
She's Romaine.
There's nothing wrong with a woman knowing what kind of sex she wants. She wants a wet-ass pussy.
This is Derek and Romaine.
2.0, bitches! Gushy.
Derek here along with Romaine, and joining us once again, our favorite mustached author, Brian J. Moylan, is with us. And you, of course, can check him out on the web. He is at brianmoylan.com. He is Brian J. Moylan on Twitter and Brian Moylan fan page on Facebook.
Although he has not been very active on his socials in a while. Brian.
Yeah, I'm bad about it. I post mostly on Instagram. I used to be a Twitter, but I can't with Twitter anymore. So I moved to the Blue Sky, and it's just not the same.
What is your Instagram handle? I didn't even find that one.
Brian J. Moylan.
How did I miss that?
It's the same as all of them. But yes, if you're looking for me to post, that's where she's at.
Because she moved to London and basically just said, fuck you, rest of the world.
Bye. See you later. I'm a much better social media consumer than I am a social media poster.
Sure, I'm like that.
Yeah, especially on Insta. I don't think to take pictures so I'm just not, that's not my strength. Those are not amongst my strengths. But amongst my strengths is being here with you guys. It's been so long.
Okay,
I know.
I
Too
am
long.
so excited to see you and talk to you because it has been too long. And Derek and I we are currently on a cruise heading to Europe and to Barcelona. And I thought we were trying to figure out who should we have on the show to talk to us that we haven't talked to in a while. And I'm like, how about Brian J. Moylan? I don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll probably just gossip. But how about him? Because we haven't talked to him in a long time and we love him. So how about him? And Derek was like, yeah.
Yeah, of course,
Yay,
obviously.
Thank you. I know. I was so excited to get your email. I was like, yes, of course I want to do this. This is the best news I've got all day. Are you ready for Europe? Or how are you going to feel as Americans abroad these days?
Well, so I wanted to start with this with you because you're not currently in America and
No.
America is a hellhole right now, thanks to our latest elected president. And I got to be honest, I'm not feeling great about being an American right now. And I feel like we're going to another country and they're going to be like, dirty Americans, screw those fuckers.
It's really weird because I think that most people here recognize that not all Americans are like Trump Americans, right? And so
God, I hope so.
I don't think people are like, oh, you're American, I don't want to talk to you. But there are a lot of people who are want to talk about it. So what's nice is if I just read the English newspaper and watch the English news, you get the top line stuff like Trump's coming after you with tariffs, whatever. But you don't get into all the stupid bullshit. You don't get into the Kennedys and the Marco Rubios and the whatever. But
so it's
people
better for you then.
So it's a little bit better, yes. But people always ask about it, or then people are like, "Oh, did you read this? Whatever." Because as an American, they want to talk to you about it, and so yeah. And I'm just like, girl, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Well, and like the number one question I get when people, hear my accent, realize I'm not from here. Where are you from? I'm from New York. How long have you been here? Oh, 7 years. Which do you like better? And then it's like, well, girl, that is a loaded question at the moment, or
Yeah.
do you miss it? Do you want to go back? It's like, well, yeah, there are all sorts of things I miss, but also, do
you feel safer being in Europe right now than you would if you were in America?
That's a good question. I mean, as a white male naturalized citizen, I would feel pretty safe in America, I think, because I recognize that I have a lot of privileges and
even as a gay man
working for me. I was going to say the gay stuff is worrying. I'm very worried about our trans siblings in struggle because once they're done coming for them, they're coming for us next. And so, and I consider them like part of the family and I want to protect the family. But as a non-trans person, I recognize that they're in danger without feeling in danger myself, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
But here, like something happened. I had a altercation with somebody, as happens.
An altercation?
Well, just a little disagreement with somebody like in the tube, kind of, whatever.
Okay.
And I was talking to an American friend of mine and she was like, weren't you afraid you were going to get shot? And I was like, no, I don't live in America because, they just don't have guns here,
Right.
And so knife crime. Yes. Like getting my iPhone stolen out of my hand, someone driving by me on a scooter. Yes. But a gun? No, that's America only. Sorry, people. So it's like yes and no, I guess, kind of. It's all crazy. But the other thing about being here is in America, you don't feel like an American. People don't identify you as an American. People don't say, as an American, what do you think of whatever?
Right.
But here, it's like I'm removed from it, but also feel way more American here than I ever felt in America.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's crazy, I tell you.
So do they hate us?
I think that they hate Trump and they hate the Trump people, but I feel like they know enough to know that we're not those people. And also I feel like when I see Americans around London, they're usually, they're traveling internationally, and a shocking statistic is only a third of Americans have a passport.
Yeah.
So
it's very low.
So the people that we're getting here aren't walking around in MAGA hats and bald eagle t-shirts, So
Right.
I think that people here are going to give tourists the benefit of the doubt. However, every year they have one NFL game here and one Major League Baseball game here. And then it's like all bets are off. It's like, oh, the Green Bay Packers are in town, girl. Lock your doors.
Now, do you get any grace on our American situation from some people in the UK after their own Brexit and prime ministers not outlasting heads of lettuce situation that went on over the last few years?
Oh, absolutely. Well, and that's what's crazy is when we moved here, during the first Trump whatever, it was really quiet over here because Brexit was going on. So
Right.
so I would just watch the news, the BBC News at 10, and it would just be all Brexit stuff. But this time, because Brexit's done and because all this is going to affect Europe and the global markets and whatever, it's a lot louder this time around. So, when he first got elected, and I will say the day after election day, I woke up to so many texts from English people being like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It made me really love my adopted homeland. But yeah, so this time it's just like, so when he first got elected, I was like, it won't be so bad. I ignored it the last time, but this time it's not
Harder.
hasn't
It's
been-
harder. It's harder to ignore.
It's harder to ignore.
I'm ignoring it though. I'm ignoring it as much as I humanly can. Like I on the daily, I will read the headlines and I will only dig in if I feel like it's absolutely necessary to dig in, because so much of it
Yes.
is so upsetting that I'm just like, if I dig into all of this, I'll doom spiral into depression mode, and I can't afford to do that. So I just read the headlines these days, and I try to avoid it as much as possible, frankly, because I feel like so much of what he does is about baiting us into this constant state of
Yes.
anxiety.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I don't want to live like that.
No, I agree. And I've also decided there are some, because I still look at the New York Times a lot, and there are certain stories that I'm just like, I don't need, like Eric Adams. I'm just like, I can't,
God.
this does not apply to my life. Sorry, New York. I love you.
Yeah. Yep.
But, I'm just not going to read any of this. And so, or certain kind of very American stories where I'm like, that doesn't affect my life here. So I'll engage with London, with England a little bit more, and less with all that. But I will say they were obsessed with the LA wildfires here. Obsessed.
Really?
Yeah, it was on BBC Two like 24 hours a day for like a week. And yeah, they were all very anxious and upset about it.
Why
And
do you think that was?
I have no idea. I think just because it was so kind of big and crazy and unexpected, and it's like Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. And they just we don't really get wildfires here. I mean, the weather's terrible, but it's always the same. And it's wet and it's awful. So yeah, but I guess they didn't have anything English to focus on that week. I don't know. But yeah, it obsessed.
Well, the Brits do love like vacationing in warm weather places.
Yes.
Like the Caribbean, but also Los Angeles. And there
Yes.
are a lot of
Florida.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Florida's huge. Yes.
So many English people, they're like, oh, you're from America? Oh, I've been to Orlando. Like
Yeah.
they all go to Disney, and that's like it. That's the only place in America they've been to.
I mean,
That's terrifying.
I would love to
I
tell
know.
people in the UK that Orlando is not reflective of America, but the reality is it's
Yes.
100% reflective of America.
Yes, absolutely.
Crystallized in a mini mall. But with Los Angeles, there are a lot of British actors who
Yeah.
are in LA or have houses there or are often there. And so I would imagine that there is like a certain local angle to the story. Too.
Absolutely, yes.
That is
Yeah.
like very relatable. And also, I mean, the story was bonkers because it just felt like, is the whole city gonna burn down? It felt a little bit like a Katrina moment. Like, wait, is
Yes.
this city gone? Like, is Los Angeles just completely gonna burn down and then there just won't be a Los Angeles? Like, will we have, 1 million people migrate to Las Vegas the way that people left New Orleans after Katrina and went to Houston? Like, is this what is on the table? And so I can understand why people were like glued to it, because it was also
yes.
crazy to see, mansions burning in paradise. Like, what is this? It's
Yes.
very upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, very few fires here, except at Heathrow when there's a fire and it closes down the airport for a whole day and screws up international travel everywhere. Yay. Yay. Oh, England. God bless her. But I will say the nice thing about it is, one of the other nice things is it's very close to Europe. So, if you're in New York, you like hop on a train and go to Philly for the weekend. We're here. It's like you hop on a Ryanair and go to Barcelona for the weekend, or go
Right.
to Berlin, or go to Paris, or wherever. And, you're in a totally different country with a different language and a whole new grinder in an hour.
All the
what
important
more,
things.
what more does one need? Hello, thank you.
Yeah. Since you mentioned that you aren't on Twitter so much, because I do follow you in social media, and our interests align in terms of hot shirtless guys in social media. And so,
Oh my God.
So for me, Twitter has two functions, or three. the people who post funny things, because I love
Yes.
like funny memes, funny like posts, whatever. 1, 2, Black Twitter, and I get in trouble for
Yes.
mentioning it, but the algorithm got me into Black Twitter. It's Brigadoon, and I love it. Although Black Twitter apparently has moved on. Like I am not seeing the posts I was seeing before. So I'm
Yes.
very sad that Brigadoon moved on without me. And then the third is like naked men, like hot
Yes.
naked guys.
Porn.
Yes, just straight up porn. So
Yeah.
the question is part of why Blue Sky is not hitting that sweet spot for you that there just is not the shirtless tail there that you have encountered in other socials?
Well, this is the thing, and people are always like, "Oh, are you on TikTok? Are you on TikTok?" And it's like the algorithms all know me, and so it
Right.
eventually just becomes like housewives and hot guys. And so
Yeah.
it's like, do I need another platform to look at housewives and hot
Does
guys
it
on TikTok?
hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt. No, but I will say. Blue Sky, a lot of my favorites follow. Well, and I also follow like all these porn accounts on my, main feed. And my followers are mostly like Housewives fans. So it's like middle-aged white ladies in the Middle West. And one of them once was like, Brian, please stop liking porn. It keeps ending up in my feed. And I was like, sorry. But like, oh yeah. Oh, I love it. But it's just so nice to be scrolling through Twitter and you're like, yeah, reading jokes, catching up on the news, whatever. And then there's like some guy getting plowed.
Right.
It's like that moment of
Not really what I'm looking for in the Twitter or the X or the Blue Sky or any of it, honestly, but I get it.
Like it's just a little, I just like to have it there in my day.
Sure.
A little
but
sprinkling. Yeah, but I follow some good guys on Blue Sky. I made a conscious effort to make sure that there was, some male beauty to attend to on my Blue Sky.
Look, they want attention. If you don't give them attention, it's like clapping to keep Tinkerbell alive. Like that's what they want.
100%. And there are a handful that are like hot guys who are also into housewives. And then that's like my sweet spot because then they'll like DM me like housewife shit. And then I can like talk to the hot guys and yeah. And then I'd be like, oh, why don't you send me whatever? And then I slowly weasel my way in.
Well, you should be twisting that little mustachey right there.
Ooh, yes, get in here. You lure them in.
Oh my God, you are definitely the child snatcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang now. Bobby Helpman.
I mean, yeah, it's something close to that. I'm not gonna lie. But they do enjoy an American gentleman here. So my accent goes a long way, especially outside of London. Like if we leave the city, go to further places where they don't get a lot of Americans, it's like they get so excited and they're like, oh, where are you from? So I appreciate that. And especially when it's, cute boys at the bar. And then they're like, oh, an American. I'm like, yes, hi. Thank you. Don't ask about Trump. I left my gun at home.
You're not wearing an American flag all the time?
No, I'm mostly trying to. Well, and my husband makes fun of me for doing this, but people say, oh, where are you from? And I say, oh, I live in London, but I'm from New York. Like, I want to be like, I'm not, don't lump me in with the,
So when we go on this
those
cruise
Americans.
these days, I want to wear, so we have these little Canadian pins, like lapel pins that the listeners have given us. I just want to wear those from now on so that people think I'm a Canadian.
Who's going to believe you're Canadian? No
I'll
one.
wear some plaid, eh?
Oh, Jesus. This is a terrible impersonation.
There are a fair number of Canadians here, and my joke recently is like, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Toronto, whatever. And I'll be like, oh, the 51st state. And they do not think it's funny.
That is
so
not
I've
funny
just
to
done
them.
that joke.
We actually,
No,
for
they don't like
years,
that joke.
for years, we've called Canadians Can-Americans here on this show. But I'm like, Derek, we can't do that anymore.
No.
Like, we
No.
can't. Like, that's actually an insult now. So we can't say that anymore. So we've stopped.
Yeah, because usually when I hear an accent similar to mine, I'm like, oh, where are you from? And, have a little chat. Oh my God. Once I was in the airport and our flight got canceled and I was talking to this woman. I was like, oh, where are you from? She goes, Utah. And I went, you're not a Mormon, are you? And my English friends were like, Brian. And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then after I said it, I was like, oh, thank God she wasn't. That would have been very insulting.
But it's true. So many Utah people are Mormons.
Yeah, but
Yes.
it's I think it has fallen. I mean, it's definitely fallen below 50% in Salt Lake City. And I think
has?
statewide, it is barely a majority. Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
wow.
Utah, like a lot of parts of the Southwest that are less expensive than California, have been booming. And Utah has, I've talked about this on the show before. Like, I'm always surprised. Like, they're removing fluoride from the drinking water in Utah, which is a shock to me because it's a pretty educated population there. And a lot of people work in, because there's because you remember John Huntsman was from there and his family owned like a chemical manufacturing company. So there's a lot of that kind of sciencey stuff, that dinosaur bones being dug up, the national parks and everything. So there's a lot of people with like science degrees and work in geology and chemistry and tech. And it attracts like Silicon Valley type companies because there are highly educated people with science degrees, engineering degrees, and everything there. So I'm always surprised whenever there's any kind of like anti-science anything there, because it's like, what? Why? It doesn't make sense. But even the Mormons tend to be very educated. The women go to college so they can meet a husband. So,
Exactly.
So it is a very educated population, because those girls, they got to get married by 19. And if you didn't marry your high school sweetheart, you got to go to BYU and find a man, because once you turn 25, it is over for you.
I am surprised about the fluoride in the drinking water, because what I have learned from my friends in Utah, and by my friends in Utah, I mean entirely the cast of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City,
of course,
is that the Mormons are I don't want to say vain, but they prize looking good. You know what I mean? And it's like, how are we going to have those big, nice, bright American teeth that all the Europeans want if we're taking the fluoride out of the water, girl? It's crazy.
Yeah, but water is a big fight in Utah right now anyway, so this might be a distraction issue because they don't want to conserve water and they are rapidly running out of it. Like Utah could be, like Salt Lake City could become an uninhabitable city at any point in the next 2 to 5 years, because the Great Salt Lake is drying up. And once it does, they won't get lake effect snow in the mountains anymore. And then they will not have drinking water coming down from the mountains every spring. And then they won't, and the way that they're growing, it'll be like Phoenix. Like there just will be not enough water for the people who live there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just never any good news. My husband and I always quote this song, the Joni Mitchell song, California. She says, all the news from home you read gives you nothing but the blues. And that's what that is telling me right there. Girl, all the news from home you read gives you nothing but the blues. Just more. It's one thing after another. Salt Lake's dried up. The fucking Trump, the tariffs, the wildfires.
What I'm hearing is you're very happy being over in the UK.
I mean, it's not too bad. The weather is terrible. English people are crazy. They're drunks.
Because the weather's terrible.
Yeah. There's, I mean, and the food here is still not good. So, it's not all sunshine and unicorns, but it is a very nice life that we have here, and I'm very happy to live it. Great theater. Oh my God, the London theater scene is great, much less expensive. Reality television, bonkers and wonderful.
You do have the best reality television. I'm convinced.
Oh my God. Have you watched Romaine, I Kissed a Boy / I Kissed a Girl?
No.
They're, I believe, both on Hulu, and it's essentially gay Love Island. It's like a villa. The first season's a bunch of gay guys. The second season's a bunch of lesbians. And they kind of come in and they have to be in couples and whatever. Hosted by Danny Minogue. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
No.
Kylie Minogue's sister.
Yeah.
She has a sister?
Yes.
Danny with 2 eyes. DANNII.
Okay. All right, so I have
She's
to
a gay
check this.
icon.
So I have to check this out.
Yes, you will love it. I think it's on Hulu. There's another season of I Kissed a Boy coming this summer. But yeah. So this is the weirdest thing to me of living in England.
Okay.
That I like to talk about often is like when you're at the gay bar, you know, you go to a certain kind of gay bar and you want to hear the gay bar hits. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's like Whitney, Janet, Madonna,
Yep.
Britney Spears, whatever. And you know every song, you know all the words, you're dancing, whatever. So you do that here in England and you hear all those artists, and then all of a sudden some Cheryl Cole song comes on that you have never heard of, and everyone is freaking out. And I am like, what the fuck is this? I have no idea who this is. I have not heard these words. Parachute? Why are you singing about a parachute, Cheryl Cole? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's like insane. And so I made my friends, my gay friends, it's like, you need to make me a playlist of all the gay bar hits that didn't make it to America. So I have, and it's like kind of an ongoing project. So we'll be at the bar, I'll be like, I don't know this. And they'll like throw it on the playlist. So I have like really tried to educate myself, because when I'm at the gay bar, I want to know the hits.
Yeah.
You know?
That's interesting. I never thought about how the gay bar hits would be different in different countries, but it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah. And you know, but there's a ton of overlap, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, there's some things that didn't quite like make it there. You know, like Atomic Kitten. Never heard of them.
Me
Never
neither.
heard of them.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
And they're
but
big there, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, they had like a hit or three.
Right.
You know, oh my God, you know who is the most famous American in England? Is
Bianca Del
Nicole
Rio.
Scherzinger.
Okay, can we talk about her for a second? Because
Nicole Scherzinger is huge.
okay, I just saw her in Sunset Boulevard on Broadway in New York City, and I'm going to tell you. First of all, let me start by saying Sunset Boulevard is my favorite musical.
Really?
I love Sunset
Okay.
Boulevard. I have seen different productions of Sunset Boulevard, and going back to when I was a teenager. So
She's a bit of a Sunset Boulevard completist, honestly.
I saw Glenn Close in Sunset Boulevard.
Same.
Okay, and then I just went and saw Nicole in Sunset Boulevard. I am going to say that this production of Sunset Boulevard is so outstanding. Like her performance in particular is so good. Like there were multiple standing ovations in the middle of the show. When she would sing her songs, her big numbers, you could hear a pin drop in that theater, and everyone was so enamored. I mean, there were points where I almost cried, and I, like at Sunset Boulevard, like I've seen the show a million times, but I almost cried. She was so unbelievable in this show. And then there were other things about the show that were absolutely phenomenal. The technology in the show is so incredible, but her performance is just outstanding, like outstanding.
I saw it in London before it moved to New York and like loved it. And I've seen Sunset Musical several times. I don't think it's a great musical, but she did as good of a job as possible. But I will say, standing ovations, like the English people don't stand like Americans. Like it's a 50, like in America, when you finish the show, everybody stands up and claps, right? No matter what the show is, no matter how bad it is. Here, maybe 30% of the time, like they hold it back. And you'll go to the theater in the West End and you'll see some American, because they shoot right up and everybody else is just sitting there clapping and they're standing there by themselves looking like a crazy person. So Nicole got a lot of like, she got entrance applause, etc., but not like a million standing ovations. But at the top of the second act, how they do that camera thing where he goes outside the theater. In London, the theater has like an alley behind it. So he just kind of walks like through the alley back into the theater.
Not impressive.
And so, no, and it was impressive at the time because I was like, oh, that's really cool. But then when I saw they did like a whole video on the New York Times of how they do it in New York, and I was like, oh, that's really fucking cool.
Oh yeah, the way they do it in New York is insane.
Yeah, because they're just in Schubert Alley, which is like a pedestrian walkway. Like it's insane.
Yeah. But my one problem with it is she's like too hot to be Norma Desmond. You know what I mean? Like she's supposed to be grotesque.
So what I find it, I don't disagree with you because I feel like she's too young. Now I know that technically she's exactly the right age based on the way the character is written. But when I think of Norma Desmond, I think of like an 80-year-old woman, not a 55-year-old woman or a 60-year-old woman, or even a 45-year-old woman, right? Which I think in the way that the show is written, she's 45. And considered over the hill and dead and practically in the grave. So I think in that respect, yes, they are trying to be closer to the actual script, and I think that's why they cast a younger, prettier woman. But I agree. I would like her to be a little more haggard.
Yeah, because the whole thing hinges on him only sleeping with her for money, but she looks like a fucking Kardashian. Like, who wouldn't, what straight guy wouldn't want to fuck Nicole Scherzinger? Like, that's crazy.
I agree
with that. But also, I feel like when Glenn Close did it originally on Broadway, which I saw on a high school trip, she was probably closer to that age, but she was styled to look like out of fashion.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where here she like looks good. She's wearing cute clothes. Well,
I mean, every time you see her on stage, she's wearing something fairly attractive. It's like yes, they could have styled where the fuck was the turban?
Right.
Right. I mean, I love the turban.
Can't we? You're right. At least get like a little turban Easter egg for the real fans. Like, come on.
Yeah, and honestly, I gotta admit, they took out one of my favorite songs, which is "The Lady's Paying," and I'm like, how can you take that song out of that show? That song is it's like such a fun, uplifting song, and when they removed it, I was crushed.
It's been funny. They even did an article about it, I think in the Times, about productions here that have been very successful that haven't translated to New York, like the Cabaret that Eddie Redmayne was in, that was here, is still running. People love it. And it's been kind of like a flop in New York. And people hated it.
It's still running because Orville Peck is now in the show.
Right.
But it is not.
We got Jake Shears did it here. They've had, like a bunch of people have come through. Anyway,
I think the thing is that it is not, one, when they did Cabaret in the late 90s with Natasha Richardson and Alan Cumming, that was a huge hit. And I think also people look at Chicago, which opened on Broadway 25 years ago. And the original Chicago was not a huge hit. I mean, at all. Like it ran with, Gwen Verdon and Cheetah Rivera, but I don't think it continued on after they were leaving the show. And so the fact that Chicago has continued to run for 25 years is insane. And I think that, yes, there was this expectation of, we have this new revival of Cabaret. People are crazy for it. It comes to the U.S. and then it's like, meh.
Yeah. But I also feel like because then Alan Cumming and Emma Stone did it not that long ago. Like I felt like there have been plenty of opportunities to see Cabaret in New York that there haven't been here. But I thought the production was great. There was something else. I mean, everybody loves Sunset Boulevard here. Is it getting as rapturous a reception in New York?
It's closing at the end of June.
Yeah.
Really?
Which is insane to me because I honestly, I fucking loved it.
But they did an Evita here in the Regent's Park Open Air Theater, which is kind of like the Shakespeare in the Park Theater. It's like
Delacorte.
Yeah. And it is the best Evita I've ever seen. It's amazing, and they're bringing it back this fall here. So if you're an Evita fan, like you're a Sunset Boulevard fan, come check out Evita. We're also getting Hercules. The musical?
Hercules.
We
Why
also
are you
have
so excited, Derek?
I've been doing the Hercules.
Yeah. Theater here is fantastic. I mean, I love it. We have a Clueless musical, Devil Wears Prada, the musical, which is supposed to be terrible.
I mean,
yeah. What do we expect? But yeah.
I feel like, you know what also was a dud here that was a hit in London was the most recent Oklahoma production.
Yes.
That was stripped down and like the dark underbelly of America, and Americans they were not here for. I think that people forget that the Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals, because we think of them as bright and uplifting and whatever, but Oklahoma, like fucking Jed is like a mentally ill like person who is bullied in that show. South Pacific goes head on into racism. King and I, again, like the enslavement of women into marriage without any rights. Sound of Music, they're fucking escaping Nazis. Like, there's a lot of dark shit going on in Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals, but people always think of them as these bright, sunny, happy musicals. And and I think Americans are very uncomfortable about addressing the sort of darker, deeper themes of those musicals. But in the UK, they was like, yes, let's explore what it is to be an American out west, and what how destructive that actually really was. And Americans were like, where are the flags? Where's the happy clap dancing?
Yeah, exactly. Where's Hugh Jackman singing "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning"?
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, girl. None of that. It was weird. I saw here. It got great reviews. Was the Elton John musical about Tammy Faye? That he wrote with Jake Shears, did like the lyrics, whatever, and it was really good. But you see it, and there are all these televangelists, Jerry Falwell, Pat Robertson, 700, like all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I went to see it with some English people, and they're like, yeah, we don't know who any of those people are. And so, it's weird, like what's gonna translate, what's not.
But people apparently Hamilton is still a hit there, and
it is. It sure is. Yeah. No one else is weird. As we were talking about Brexit and whatever, you know how we all had to take like civics class, like about how the government works? English people do not do that. Like they have no idea how Parliament works, how, vaguely, but yes, they have no idea about any of that. Whereas Americans, we all have to know all the articles of the Constitution.
I mean, whatever. They immediately forget them and don't care anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. But at least we had to sit through it. So I have like a vague idea of how it happens. I mean, I feel like I know the English system better than most English people. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. But and so apparently here, so we've been here for 7 years. After 5 years, we can get indefinite leave to remain, which is what is like a green card. And then after you've had that for like a year or 2 or 3 or whatever, you can become citizens. But to get the leave to remain, there's a test, a life in the United Kingdom test.
Oh.
And supposedly it's difficult.
Well, the test to become an American citizen is difficult.
Really? Well,
yeah,
I guess as an American, I know all the answers. Oh, really? And how'd you do?
Derek did not think I would pass. And so I went online and I took a sample test. And I did better than I expected to, frankly.
She barely passed. She passed.
That is not true. I got 8 out of 10 questions right.
That's passing.
That's not bad. That was passing. Yeah. So I felt fine about that, but I expected it. But the questions were tricky, and I will say on some of them, I would say like on 2 or 3 of them, I definitely narrowed it down to two choices and just took a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, she really put the B in proud to be an American.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing is like I've learned about England mostly through like reality television. So I mean, if it was a name the people from Love Island, I mean, I'd be a citizen tomorrow. But if it's like, who did Henry VIII marry first? I don't fucking know, girl. That's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, he had a lot of wives. And you'll have to go and watch 6 again.
Mm-hmm.
So our house, I live in a very old house. It's from like 1740. It used to be a hat shop.
Oh.
And we are on the Jack the Ripper tour.
Oh,
I'm sorry, what?
So the Jack the Ripper tour comes by multiple times a day in multiple languages, and they stand right in front of our house. And so I live on like it's like an alley but wide, but there's no cars on it, and it's like one block. And so they bring the tours here because they can stop and they're not like on the pavement, as the English would say, like in the way. So, but they stop in front of their house and they give this whole spiel. But I don't know the whole Jack the Ripper spiel. I only know my house spiel because I've heard it like a million times. And there's no air conditioning here. So in the summer, you have to leave all the windows open. And so then I'm like working and then it's like, oh, the fucking tour's here. And then it's like 20 minutes where I can't work because I have to sit and listen to the Jack the Ripper tour stop in front of my house.
So why do they stop in front of your house? What happened in front of your house?
So there was a dead lady in the alley in our like street. And then there's a pub around the corner that is from 1666. It's called the 10 Bells. And that is where the prostitutes used to hang out that started disappearing when Jack the Ripper killed them. But in front of my house, they talk about how when the woman was killed in the alley, they saw someone fleeing the scene in a leather apron. And at the time, there were a lot of Jewish people living in the neighborhood and they wore leather aprons. And so they thought Jack the Ripper was a Jew. And so Jack the Ripper caused a rise in anti-Semitism in England. So that's what I get to hear about every day is the rise of
now, are you ever tempted to put on a leather apron and hold a knife and stand in the window
my
and
God. I'll
glare
pay you $1
down
to
at
do
the
it.
tourists?
100,000,000%. And because especially like sometimes, so there's like a morning tour, especially on the weekends, an afternoon tour, and then there's always an evening. There's a few evening tours. And so they'll come like 7, 8. And if I'm ordering like takeout or whatever, it's sometimes when the tour's there and it's like, get out of the way. I need to get my Pizza Express pizza. And so I'm annoyed. And so one day I was like sitting at my kitchen table and I was working. It's like 8 o'clock. I was trying to finish something. And the guy I could hear was standing right outside of my front door, which is where my dining room is. And so I couldn't write because I'm listening to him. And there's a little window like above the door. And so I put a chair next to the door and I just poked my head over the window and like that, and everybody at the tour saw me and was like, oh! And then the guy like turned around and like laughed, like whatever, and I was like, yeah, girl, like people live here, leave me alone.
I think I like Derek's idea. Dress up in a leather apron, show up with a knife, and see what happens. Just open the door.
I think you should just like suddenly open the door really fast with a knife in your hand and watch the tourists freak the fuck out. That would be
oh my God,
hilarious.
Yeah. But then I feel like they would expect it like all the time. You know, like the tour operators would be like, oh, this is where the crazy guy lives.
Well, whatever. If they tip you, I guess.
So on our little street, there's, maybe like 10 houses, and across the way from us is a literal almshouse, like from the Victorian era for like poor people. And it's called the whatever almshouse. And it's still like affordable living kind of situation, whatever.
Okay.
And so my side of the street is like row houses, like townhouses. And, I've been living in this house for like 3 years now. And in November, like just before Christmas, I get a knock on the door. It's like 5, 6 o'clock, so already dark. And I get a knock on the door, and it's this kind of middle-aged, nondescript, like pudgy looking white guy. And I'm like, hey. He's like, oh, hi, I'm George. I live at number we're 7, so he lives at number 5. So he's like 3 doors down. And he says, oh, I've never introduced you before, whatever. Oh, and this is so awkward. This is so awkward. This is so awkward. And I'm like, what? And so he says that, so his window in his kitchen looks into my office window where I sit in front of the window and type like Carrie Bradshaw,
Right.
with my laptop open in front of whatever. And so he goes, your window looks right into my window and I see you all the time and I'm sick of looking at you. Will you put up a fence so that I don't have to see you? And I was like, no. And then he's like, well, what about a hedge? And I was like, no, I'm not going to put up a hedge. Like, I like the view. There's like this big kind of courtyard where, in the middle of the block and you can see into everybody's gardens. It's like very pretty, very nice. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, but I see you all the time. And I was like, well, then get a curtain. And he's like, well, I have a curtain, but then when I open it, you're always there. And I was like, well, sorry, that's my desk and that's where I work. And he's like, well, will you move your desk? And I was like,
what
no.
the fuck? That is the craziest shit.
Yeah. And
This feels
so
very Brit.
but kind of not, because they're not confrontational at all. And being a New Yorker, one of the first things I moved to, it's like whenever you're confronted with a problem, you like face it with aggression, right?
Right.
And that does not work with English people. So I had to learn very quickly to be a lot more like
diplomatic.
Yeah, quiet, yeah. And so I'm trying to do that with him, and trying to find like some kind of compromise, because he's also my neighbor, but also you're asking me unreasonable things. And and he's kind of like, I've lived in this house since the 60s, and my father had to give them permission for them to build the part of the house that your window is in, and I wish we had never given it, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sorry, dude, I don't know what to fucking tell you, whatever. So this kind of like ends, and I'm like, this guy's fucking nuts. And so I go back to my office, and I have never seen him. I had never noticed his window, like nothing before. And so I go back to my office and I look out and I see his window, and he's standing in the window and he's like flashing a flashlight at me. And like, so I'll see him. And I was just like, oh my God, ignore this guy. Like, he's fucking crazy. Like,
he's
whatever.
crazy.
That's super creepy.
So I'm like telling everybody the story, like, oh, ha ha ha, I have a crazy neighbor, like whatever, joking about it. So then like a month later, I'm on a Zoom call, and it was with New York. So it was maybe like 8, 9 o'clock. So it was late. And there's a knock on the door, and it's right before Christmas, and I'm expecting packages. So I'm thinking like, maybe it's a package. I go and open the door. It's fucking George, the crazy neighbor. Oh, no. And he goes, you're staring at me. You're staring in my windows 24 hours a day. All you do is stare at me, like whatever. And I'm like, I'm not staring at you. I'm looking at the computer. I'm on a call. I don't have time for this. He's like, you definitely have time for this, because my privacy is my most important thing, and I won't have someone staring into my window, like blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, fuck you, George, bye. And I like slam, our door sticks. So I close it, but it's slamming it, and, go about my day. And I'm like, oh my God, fucking George is back. I don't know what I'm going to do, whatever. So then go away for Christmas. I spend January in America to avoid the winter.
Right.
Come back beginning of February. I'm here like a week. There's a knock on the door. I open the door, thinking it's the postman. It's fucking George again. Again. And he goes, I've been nothing but neighborly to you. And I came over here and, tried to be friendly to you, and you won't do anything, and you don't care about me, and like, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, listen, George, if you come here again, I'm calling the police. And he starts talking again. I was like, George, if you come again, I'm calling the police, whatever. And so then I like closed the door and went about my life. And I will say, this is a great thing about England. They have this thing called an antisocial behavior report that you can file with the city government. And it's for people who are like asshole neighbors, like just like general jerks. So I went to our council in the city, like each part of the city has a council that's kind of like your local government that does like the trash pickup and whatever, right. And you pay like taxes to the council. So I go to my council, Tower Hamlets Council, the poorest council in England, and I file a report against George, and was like, this guy keeps like coming and annoying me, like whatever, just to like get a record. And I got a response. It took a few weeks. They emailed me, and they were like, if he's threatening you, you should contact the police, like whatever, but we have a note of it. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. So
can I offer a suggestion though of what you should do to resolve this issue?
Please.
So you don't want to put up a hedge, you don't want to put up a fence, but you know what you can do?
Yes.
Go on Amazon and order yourself up. They make these like cling films that you can put on your window that you can see through, but create like a mirror sheen for people looking in, so people can't see in, but you can see out.
Like a two-way mirror.
Yes, kind of like a two-way mirror.
But also, know what? fuck you, George.
Oh no, I agree.
Down.
Fuck George, but at least then he can't see you, and
No.
and I mean you can still stare at him if you want to.
No, totally. And so I've been telling, I think I've talked to you about my housekeeper and her husband before, but
Oh, yes.
they're like very interested in the whole saga and whatever. And she was like, I should start cleaning naked so he could see me naked.
my
And then when I
God.
was like going away, they were like, you should get like a cutout of you and like
just
put
leave it there.
behind the desk. So that he can like see you all the time. But that's the thing. And so now that he told me about it, I see the window all the time. I'm looking at it now.
Right.
And the curtains are down. Like, I don't know what his problem is. Like, yeah, and it's like into his kitchen. And so sometimes on the rare occasions when it's open, I'll see him in his kitchen. I can see his back. But it's like, girl, it's not like I'm staring into your bedroom or your living room or anything. Like,
Right.
you're crazy. And yeah, and the woman in the Alms house across the way, her sink is at the window, so I can like stare at her while she's doing the dishes, and it's like a little bit awkward. But yeah, with George, it's like no big deal. So, oh my God.
I mean,
he's
but New
fucking
Yorkers are so used to shit like this. I mean, everyone who's lived in
Yes.
New York has had an apartment that looked directly into someone else's apartment.
Yes, right. And so that's what at first I had to, when the first time it happened, I like talked to a few of my English friends and I was like, listen, like maybe this is because I'm a New Yorker and I'm used to it. And we just, right. It's like, yeah, you stare at somebody right across the way and you just get used to it. That's life. And they were like, oh no, this guy's crazy. don't get it twisted. Yeah, that's like nuts.
That's insane. So do you worry he's going to kill you?
Well, so somebody was like, what if he has a gun? And I was, again, it's England. Like, he might stab me,
Right.
but he won't kill me.
I mean, he could show up in a leather apron and go stabby on you.
Exactly. I could be the new Jack the Ripper.
Yeah. He's not
Yeek.
bothered by the Jack the Ripper tour, but he's bothered by staring at your face.
Exactly. All day. My poor face.
I know, because you've got a cute face.
My
know.
poor face.
George doesn't like it. George hates it.
Oh, my God.
Well,
Yeah,
you know, this
he's
happened
crazy.
with Sid Ziegler and his husband from Outsports.com because they had an apartment that looked into Sandra Bernhardt's apartment because that's how it is in New York,
Mhm.
right? You're like,
yeah.
And so we had her on our show, and I was like, by the way, you know, I'm friends with one of your neighbors across the way. And she was like, is it the two hot guys who run around all the time in just their underwear? And I was like, yep, that's them. And she's like, well, I hope they enjoy watching me scream at my daughter.
Yeah. So when I lived in New York, I lived at 53rd and 9th. This was many years ago. And we lived across from this building, and you could see like right into this guy's apartment. And like clockwork, every day at like 10 o'clock, he would put porn on his like giant desktop screen, and he would sit and like he was really hot and he would like jerk off, and you could like watch him jerk off, and then he would like get up and like go get in the shower and like take a shower and like come out naked and get dressed. And so it's like any night you wanted to watch the show at 10 every weeknight, you could watch like the hot
How
neighbor jerk
many
off.
nights a week did you watch this man jerk off?
I mean, if I was in the room where you could see him and it was 10, I would like take a peek just to make sure he was there. And once we were watching him and we saw him like get ready and then like left. I was like, oh, I bet he's going to leave the apartment. And I wanted to see him like IRL. And so we kind of like went out on the street and lingered a bit, knowing he was going to be waiting for him to walk by. But it wasn't like I was staring at him all the time. But
'Cause
like
that's not
when we
at all
first
weird and
discovered it,
stalkerish.
I was. Yeah. I mean, we didn't talk to him. Like, hello. I didn't try anything, but you know,
I mean,
I mean, the porn was straight. So,
Oh.
Maybe you should try masturbating at a specific
Interesting.
time every day for George.
well, when it happened, like the second time, I was like annoyed at George. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to jerk off at my desk just to like just to like send that like energy towards you. And I sure did. And I hope
Okay.
George felt me jerking off at my desk where he couldn't see me.
Oh my
I hope
God,
he
I
felt
love
it
you
very
so
deeply.
much. Brian J. Moylan, you're my favorite.
You're my favorite. See, this is why we should have go years without talking.
I know.
could've told
I
you
agree.
No.
We got to talk more
forever ago.
often. Every
All
time
right,
we
well,
talk, we say it, but we got to talk more often.
All right, before we wrap up, we have to talk about the traders. because Romaine is just wrapping up, or I think you have wrapped up now, right?
I've seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So with the Traders UK, and so
yes.
So Brian, do you have an opinion about the U.S. version of Traders versus the UK version of Traders? And then can we talk about how much I love Mina?
So it's funny because I watch Survivor and Big Brother and The Challenge and all the Bravo shows, whatever. So
right.
For US Traders, I know like every single person on that show, and I'm excited to see them interact with each other. And yes, but it brings with it that level of like gameplay, that Survivor kind of strategy, whatever. And which I like, but I also like the English version where they have no clue what they're doing. They've never been on one of these shows, whatever. Version. Well, and I also love it's so English where they're like, "Oh my God, if you're not a trader, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. If you might be a trader, you might not be a trader. I'm sorry. 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 But I think it's Romaine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, whereas in America, it's like Romaine's a fucking trader. I fucking hate that bitch. And so it's like so totally the difference between like America and England.
It is.
And yeah, and that's what I love about it. Is Mina the woman of color from Liverpool?
Yes.
Yes.
Trader? Oh my God. She was like a national hero. Everybody loved her. And it's Traders here because it's like on BBC, which everybody gets, and it's a smaller country. And so like everybody, like, 20 million people watch Traders, and that's a third of the country, And so it's like huge. And yeah, so they're like huge celebrities, and you'll see them like around going to events and whatever. And yeah, oh my God, Mina was fantastic. And this was such a good season of UK, the Traders. They're starting.
Here, real quick, here's what I was excited about. Hot Blonde was a lesbian. I didn't realize the entire season until all of a sudden, like, towards the very end, she drops a thing about her girlfriend, and I was like, what?
Wait, the one in the military?
Yes.
She's a lesbian?
She's a lesbian. Because she said something about her girlfriend in, like, the second to last episode, and I was like, what? And Romy, my daughter, is like, boop, 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 gets online, and yeah, fucking lesbian. And I was like, holy shit, I could sleep with her. Oh my God. Because the whole time Derek's like, oh, you're going to want to eat that box so bad.
God,
you're going to
so
want to get in there. And I'm like, oh, yes, I do. Abso-fucking-lutely. She's a hot piece. And then she's like, military Barbie. And I'm like, give me some of that, please. And then I find out she's a lesbian. And I'm like, oh, sign me up.
Oh my God. That is... I had no idea. That's crazy. How did we not know that? We went a whole season
because it was like they just didn't really talk about it. And and honestly, because when she said it, I was like, no, she can't possibly be a lesbian. And I wouldn't have known if Romy hadn't looked it up.
I also loved on this season of the Traders where one of the traders, I forget her name, but she was an older lady. And when Claudia Winkleman, the host, says like Traders, and she looked, and somebody clocked
Stupid
it.
Linda. Stupid Linda.
But
you're a dumbass.
But that's the only time on Traders where there's been like actual evidence that was correct.
Right.
And I was like so happy that guy like clocked it and was like, no, I know you're a traitor and this is why. Because usually people are like, we need evidence. Like, girl, there's no evidence in this game. It is vibes only.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad he finally had evidence and he was correct. And it was fantastic. And I loved it.
I also loved that Alexander, he was playing for charity and he didn't win, but then people donated more money to the charity than he would have been able to give being on the show.
It's amazing.
I love the vibes of Traders UK because they're genuinely good-hearted people who are like, oh, I'm just going to be a little naughty for the weekend. And then they go back to being good people. Like, it's lovely that they get to like, oh, let me just try on being a bad person. Oh, it's so fun. And then they can go back to being a good person. I just love the sweetness of it. And I'm not at all surprised it's a huge hit in the UK. Like it is, it's so fun.
One of the things we make fun of is, I think it was on the first season of UK The Traders, there was a woman who only had one hand. And she was like, I'm coming on here to win money to buy a hand. And we've seen like a few people on these reality shows who are like, have some kind of ailment that they're trying to get money for. And we have a national health service. Like, the NHS isn't going to pay for this woman's hand. They're going to make her go on the BBC to fucking try to earn her hand money on the traitors. Like, what the fuck? Give this poor woman a hand. It's crazy.
I agree.
Oh
It's
God.
crazy. The other thing that I like about the Traitors UK is when they say, I voted for yourself.
Yes.
Like, I get a tingle about them. So, like, the language
Right.
out of them, like, oh, that's so hot. Yeah.
So they're going to do a celebrity UK traitors that I guess is going to be more similar to the American traitors because there'll probably be lots of reality stars,
yeah.
whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And so there's so we'll have 2 a year. We'll have the normies and the celebrity one. And I think that America should do that too. I want to
agree.
see like real Americans playing traitors too.
But I
as well
also-
as
Yeah.
I
agree.
also really want them to do an edit where you don't know who the traitors are.
yes,
A faithful
agree.
edit.
Yeah, and you just have to watch and
As a
like try
faithful.
to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I am very into it, and I would be terrible at that game. Oh my god, awful, so awful. But also the prizes here are so sad. It's like you're gonna win £10,000.
Fancy.
It's like, girl, that's not ain't enough to get me out of credit card debt. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
It's barely enough to pay for the time I'm taking off of work. Like, that is
Right.
insane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Exactly.
wild.
Well, Brian J. Moylan, it is always a treat and a delight to catch up with you all the way across the pond. And we definitely, every time, it's like, oh, we have to do this more often. But legit, we have to do this more often.
I agree.
You know where to find me, girl.
Yeah.
All right.
Have fun on your cruise.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, guys.
Hi. Our thanks to Brian J. Moylan for being with us. Be sure to check him out in social media. He's on Blue Sky, so you might as well find him there. Maybe it will help his algorithm a bit. And BrianMoylan.com on the web. You're listening to Derek and Romaine. Well, there you have it. The end of another perfect episode of Derek and Romaine. And if you want more great fun, go to DNRstudios.com and subscribe to get our show every day. And don't forget, for DNR Plus subscribers, you can use the DNR Cast app for iPhone, available now in the App Store.